Hello plant lovers, it is Matthew in Melbourne welcoming you back to my channel. Thank you for finding me. I am a complete amateur who grows cold, cool, intermediate orchids here in Melbourne. So if that is of any interest, I post every week. Do hit subscribe and the notifications bell and you will hear every week of my ongoing orchid adventures. And this week we are going to talk about a new cold growing species type that I have just discovered. I mean, I haven't discovered it obviously and named it, but I've just found for sale, and I am so excited because whenever I find a new cold growing orchid that I can grow outdoors all year, my heart skips a beat, and here it is. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Promanea xanthina. I think that is how you pronounce it. I'll put the name below. Anyway, and isn't it the most stunning orchid? Now, firstly, I will come and give you a close-up of those flowers. Aren't they just beautiful? They're a sort of a greeny yellow with burgundy speckles and just stunning. And I literally just stumbled across this in a favourite grower called Collector's Corner here in Melbourne. I'll put the link down below. Unfortunately, they don't have an e-com website. So if you are watching from anywhere else in Australia or internationally, alas, you can't buy from them online. We could always call them and see if they could ship perhaps, but well worth a visit if you're in Melbourne. It's one of the few places that has more unusual orchids for sale and quite mature specimens. So this one I saw and I just thought, oh, it looks amazing, but it looks tropical and difficult. So I Googled it while I was in the shop and realized it is a cold to warm grower. That always amazes me, that a plant can be that versatile. But anyway, from southern Brazil, and it grows at quite high altitudes, hence the range in its temperatures. So I'm going to grow this outdoors all year. Now, as you can see, I literally just bought it this week, so it is hot off the press. It's still potted in plastic, it's still in bloom, it's got amazing new growths coming along. I am not going to repot this perhaps until autumn, until the flower is well gone and until these growths are mature. I'm just going to love it and nurture it in the meantime. Now obviously I've had it for less than a week, so I can't talk to its care, but what I have read is that essentially it is a cool to warm grower, so that's a given, which means it should be able to take my Melbourne winter minimums, which don't freeze but can get damn close if we're unlucky. My outdoor area is under cover, so the orchids don't get rained on, so I can control their moisture, which is important because with most orchids you don't want to get them really wet in cold weather because that spells death often. And it is a low light orchid, so it grows in reasonably dense forests, so it's going to be in one of the shadier spots outside. But isn't it just stunning? And I will come in and show you, but the actual growth habit is very similar to an oncidium. So you have a pseudobulb which matures, and then the flower spike emerges from beneath the leaf sheath and the pseudobulb. So in that gap in between, it comes out of there. So the same kind of flowering point as an oncidium. As you can see too, it's described as a miniature orchid, a small grower. So I think this is quite some years old, looking at the number of pseudobulbs in there. Obviously, it's not going to get much taller, but it's quite clearly a spreader, which is fantastic. Imagine having a big specimen of this with all these multiple strands of blooms. How stunning. And it is also an epiphyte, so when I do come to repot it, it's going to be in pretty standard loose free draining mix for me, which will be bark, chopped sphagnum moss, perlite, charcoal. Other than that, I can't really tell you anything because I've only had it for less than 5 days. But I was so excited, I just had to show you. And the flowers, no fragrance at all, but just so beautiful. So for me, it's just important that I can find orchids that I can leave outdoors all year, that I don't have to bring in and take out and bring in and take out, because that, plant lovers, can be a bit of a pain. Anyway, let us follow the journey of Promanea xanthina, and we'll see if I can get it to rebloom next year. So we might do a follow-up if I manage to make it thrive. So there we are, a quick lucky purchase. I was so thrilled. Now the other thing is, this was quite expensive. I'd never seen the name or heard of the orchid before. I've never seen it on online selling lists, so I think I was very lucky. I don't know if you'll be able to find it anywhere else in the world. Let me know if you've come across this, and also let me know if you've grown it successfully, because there might be some secret tricks that you can share with me. Anyway, we are going to enjoy our life together, and I look forward to seeing you next week with another adventure of my very amateurish orchid growing. So until then, have a great week and I'll see you later.